Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's take a look at 4 players. I think the 4 most likely big-name 49er players that could be cap cuts this season. We know the 49ers and the money situation, it's not horrible, but it's obviously not great. So, to make a couple of these moves, they can free up some more money and maybe spend more money in free agency. Let's go ahead and jump right in to our first player here. How about the safety Jaquiski Tartt? This one's weird, right? But it actually makes a lot of sense whenever you actually dive into it. Because you think Tartt, and you go, wait a second, starting safety, why would we let him go? Let me explain. So, in reality, he only played 65% of the snaps at strong safety last season. And really, Marcel Harris, who was a 2018 6th rounder, played well whenever he filled in for Tartt. You could upgrade the position in the draft, and you can let him go and save some money. Now, saving money is the big thing here. Let's go ahead and show you what the money saved would look like. So, Tartt is slated to make $6.275 million in 2020. If you cut him, you essentially free up $4.775 million in free cap space, and you would leave $1.5 million in dead money. So the way the money works out there essentially is that cutting him creates $4.775 million in free cap space, which again can be added to go ahead and either re-sign a guy like Jimmie Ward or sign a completely different position altogether and draft somebody in the draft. Tartt last year, the numbers don't really jump off the page. I know he was good at times, but it's not like we would lose some sort of Pro Bowl caliber safety. I mean, 48 tackles, 0 interceptions, 2 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. Is he a good player? Yes, 100% he is. Is he a essential, you can't win without him type player on this defense? No, not at all. You can make the argument the same with Jimmie Ward, who's the other safety on the other side of him there in the secondary. It's a very good draft for safeties, and if this was the move that they wanted to make, it would basically, in my opinion, guarantee that they were going to go ahead and get a safety at some point in the NFL draft, or maybe sign one in free agency. Tartt, I wouldn't say it's uber likely, but don't be surprised if Tartt is one of those surprise cap cuts that takes place before we get to the new league year coming up in a couple of weeks, because the Niners see somebody that they like, and they want to have enough money to go ahead and do that. Also, before we move on, they're trying to re-sign Arik Armstead. We mentioned that in a video yesterday. This might be one of the ways they're able to pay Armstead $18 to $19 million a year, is letting a guy like Tartt go, which is kind of what we're doing for all the guys on this list. Before we move on, quick question here. Don't worry about the ads. Scroll down during the ad break. Answer the pinned comment. Do the 49ers need to be active in free agency this year? How active do they need to be? Are we talking like just re-sign our guys, go make some big name splashes, big cuts, big additions? What do you guys think? How active do the 49ers need to be in free agency this year? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, moving on here to our number 2 player on this list. This one is crazy interesting, but actually doing research, it has a lot of validity to it, is Tevin Coleman, right? So the 49ers backfield is absolutely loaded. Now, we just recently acquired Tevin Coleman, getting him in free agency over from the Atlanta Falcons, but the running back draft class, including our own, is very, very deep. So you have a deep current running back roster, Jeff Wilson Jr., Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, and then the draft class this year is insanely deep. Not just the big names, Swift and Dobbins and Jonathan Taylor. There are other running backs later on in the draft. Think like a Baylor's Jermichael Hasty way late in the draft, who could, again, be a 5th or 6th round draft pick that turns out to be one of the better running backs in the National Football League. On top of another reason why you could go ahead and be comfortable with cutting Tevin Coleman, because Raheem Mostert is clearly the number 1 back. Like, clearly the number 1 back, and cutting a guy like Coleman would save $4 million. So we're already seeing Tartt, Coleman, you could combine the cuts and save almost $9 million, which is enough to go ahead and sign a pretty decent player in free agency. To go on to the fact that Mostert is the true number 1, I want to go ahead and draw y'all's attention to the numbers you see here. Look at this. Same amount of carries last year, which is kind of crazy. I didn't realize that, so I was looking up the numbers. They both had 137 carries. Mostert had 772 yards to 544. He had almost 230 yards more in the same amount of carries. Yards per carry, how about 1.6 more yards per carry and 2 more touchdowns? There's no debating that Mostert is the true number 1 back. Now, it's not just that, it's not just that the coaching staff gave him more touches, therefore he had more yards. This shows the same amount of carries, right? And more yards for Raheem Mostert, obviously showing he's the better back. Now, Coleman may be a little bit better of a pass catcher. That's debatable. But if you're sitting there right now going, why the heck did we let go of Tevin Coleman? Maybe this shows you. Again, you can save $4 million in free cap space because Mostert, again, is the number 1 running back on this team and the future of the franchise in terms of the number 1 back, because the coaches love him, and the stats go ahead and prove it. If you were to let go of Tevin Coleman, that means Breida and Wilson become your 3 your three-headed monster, I guess, at the running back spot. And if you were to lose Matt Breida, he's a restricted free agent. Unlikely, but if you did, then you could go ahead and draft somebody later on in the NFL draft because much like wide receiver, much like quarterback, it's a very deep draft at the running back spot. Not just from the top, but also down into the later rounds. The Niners move back from 31, they'll have a second, a third, a fourth. They'll have some of those day 2 picks to go ahead and spend on a running back. So Coleman, again, not saying he's going to get cut, but these are the most likely candidates that I was crunching numbers on that made the most sense. Let me ask you guys this. Which running back do you guys think is better? I just made the case for Raheem Mostert. What do you think? Type C down below for Coleman. Type M down below for Mostert. Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, before we move on, you guys ever signed up for BetDSI? How many times have I talked about this, right? You've never done the BetDSI promo that I do every single day here on Chat Sports. You're missing out, right? First time here, let me explain. Chatsports.com/bet. Can use the promo code 49ers. You get 120% deposit bonus whenever you sign up. So if you're looking at March Madness and you like, oh man, I really like this team or this matchup, or you're looking at the NBA playoffs or the NBA final quarter of the season, oh, I really like this matchup, I like the Lakers, I like the Clippers here, whatever. You want to bet on them? Put your money where your mouth is? Challenge your friends? Chatsports.com/bet, promo code 49ers. Put 10 bucks down, use the promo code 49ers, turns into $12. Little $2 bonus there. That's how deposit bonuses work. Sign up. Again, you see the link here, link in the description, chatsports.com/bet, promo code 49ers. Some other names, the name that you most likely thought of whenever I said cap casualty, cap cut. How about running back Jerick McKinnon? Has not played in 2 seasons. The 49ers reportedly are trying to restructure his deal right now with his agent to make his current deal more friendly. That's because the only way you're going to get him back on this team is if he takes a pay cut and has a better contract. Go ahead and throw up the numbers that he is making this year. Look at this. So McKinnon is slated to make $8.5 million in 2020 and $9.2 million in 2021. Good Lord, I cannot believe we gave him this contract. Cutting him would save $4.5 million this year, right? So not a ton, but paying him, you kind of do the math here. Paying him 8.5, cutting him, you save 4.5. You save a lot of money by letting go of Jerick McKinnon. Now, we talked about Coleman earlier. Let's say they're able to restructure Jerick McKinnon's deal and they trust his knee to where he's going to be healthy. That would give you an opportunity to go ahead and let go of a guy like Tevin Coleman. But if not, if you're not sold on Jerick McKinnon or he's not going to take a pay cut and restructure that deal, gone. You got to let him go. It's too much money for a guy who, again, has not seen the field in basically 2 seasons. It just doesn't make sense overall to keep him unless he takes a pay cut, which, hey, they're working on. Maybe it gets done. Maybe it doesn't. But at the same time, if you're Jerick McKinnon, you're still going to make money either way because you signed this deal and they gave you this deal. Hats off to Jerick McKinnon's agent, by the way, for getting him this deal. I guess they didn't predict him to have these multiple knee injuries, but still, it's like, geez, we gave him a lot of money. You know what's also crazy? In fact, we're almost to 20,000 subscribers here on Chat Sports' 49ers channel. I mean, great. The 3rd biggest Chat Sports channel there is behind the Raiders and the Cowboys, and the biggest and fastest growing 49ers channel on YouTube. Subscribe down below. Join the gang right now. Of course, you can hit the red subscribe button, notification bell as we approach 20,000 subs, which is unbelievable. I appreciate each and every one of you. And just because I appreciate you guys, how about a deal on a hat? How about a discount on an authentic 49ers hat? Chatsports.com/49hat. Link in the description. Check out all these hats. They're probably showing you around my head somewhere on the screen the ones that you can get. There's a lot more than just the ones we're showing you right now. Again, link in the description. Chatsports.com/49hat. Check it out right now. And finally, another cap casualty that would make sense, a cut that I think would be perfect, would be Marquise Goodwin, the aging, formerly great speed wide receiver who no longer is really playing at all. Non-existent in 2019. The 49ers obviously like their much younger wide receivers because Goodwin, between injuries and just playing time, how about 12 snaps? 12 catches this year. He's played 12 games over the past 2 seasons. It's unreal how little this guy has actually been able to get on the field. Look at last year's stats. 12 catches, 186 yards, 15.5 yards per catch, 1 touchdown. Right? I mean, come on. This is easy. You let go of Jalen Hurd. Maybe you use all this spare money to re-sign Emmanuel Sanders. Or, sorry, you keep Jalen Hurd. You let go. I mean, that's awful. You keep Jalen Hurd. Don't let go of him. You let go of Marquise Goodwin. You use Goodwin's money to maybe put towards Emmanuel Sanders or another wide receiver because the money looks like this. Take a look. Goodwin, slated to make $3.95 million in 2020. You cut him, you're going to save $3.65 million, and your dead cap hit would be $1.25 million. Again, a nice little chunk of change here to go ahead and use somewhere else. All 4 of these guys Again, not all 4 are going to be let go, but the Niners wanted to get crazy in free agency. You could legitimately let go of all 4, not feel it on the backside in terms of your 2020 success, and have $10 to $20 to $12 million in free cap space to go ahead and make some moves here in free agency. Now, should they do all 4? I don't know. Which ones would you guys cut? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would do, here's honestly what I would do. If McKinnon would restructure, I would go ahead and restructure McKinnon, let go of Tevin Coleman. I would let go of Tartt and draft Grant Delpit. And I'd also let go of Marquise Goodwin because Jalen Hurts coming back and the 49ers have better receivers than Marquise Goodwin. So that's what I would do. Let me know what you guys would do in the comments section down below. There you go. All time we have for today on the 49ers Only Chat Sports channel, talking about cuts as we are getting very close to what's going to happen in free agency. I mean, very close to free agency beginning, so stay tuned for all the latest stuff that goes on here at Chat Sports. We're on top of all the latest and breaking news and rumors. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.